Greetings, greetings, greetings. This is Revere Sky. Let's chat for a minute. All I could do is reflect. I talked about it before, but I don't hear people discussing it or breaking it down. So I want to talk about something very, very systematically kind of wrong. Okay. Um, so before the pandemic, remember they tried to shut down the government. People were going into foreclosure. People didn't have money. People were opening up GoFundMe accounts, etc. Remember, they they had stopped food stamps. They stopped so much, then all of a sudden it just disappeared. What they realized is if the government was to blame for shutting down the government, you would have somebody to retaliate against. You would have somebody to go raw with, right? So, what they waited about 6 months? They waited till Trump got out of office, and then they created a pandemic that was designed to you can point the finger, you can point the blame. Like it just keep playing over and over in my head. I'm like, they they had to find a safe way to shut down the system, to make people go broke, to make people to go into fear mongering mode. Because they had already shut the system down, but they was like, wait a minute, there'll be like a uprising within the people, right? So next thing you know, they said, you know what? We'll use a pandemic scenario. And that's what they did. They completely used a pandemic scenario. Okay? And it makes me think like people really got played. You don't see how they transition from a governmental shutdown to a pandemic. They could have you fight against them because, quote unquote, the government shut down, right? Governmental jobs shut down. People were losing things they had because they was living from paycheck to paycheck. Then they had to twist that because they had a person to hold on. They had a person to point the finger at. So they transitioned to a pandemic and blamed it on somebody else. Right? They transitioned from a pandemic and blamed it on somebody else. And they still shut the government down. See, they wanted to shut the government down, but then you had somebody to blame. But once they used, the ingredients they use for this pandemic, right? You know the ingredients: bioweapons, plague-like features, and they shut everything down. They did a test run, but they seen that they would have had war on their own soil by doing that. Nothing's wrong with saying that. Like, they didn't want, they did not want to be put to blame. So they came up with a new solution. Let's create this pandemic or scamdemic, and we won't be to blame for shutting things down, for causing inflation. Remember, they just wanted to strong arm and just shut the government down? Remember? But see, they make it so that you forget past situations. They make it so that you phase into a new transition, a new phase, a new scenario, a new timeline. It's just something to think about how they duped people. Oh, it's a government shutdown, it's a government shutdown. Then all of a sudden there was no government shutdown and Trump was out of office and then a pandemic hit like that. And what did the pandemic do? Shut the government down. Hyperinflation, controlled marketing, a bunch of bull crap. So there we have it. Also, this is the good stuff. This is when I want to relax. Y'all should support my tinctures if you want to relax and you want to just be able to just relax at night. This is what, like when I'm tossing and turning, this is what I do. My wild lettuce tincture. Okay? And check out the tarot readings. Check out the tarot readings while I am available. Okay? Mwah.